5 work session. They made me do it.
It's fine.
Let the minutes show
I made the
that we're
decision
on
that late and
time.
caffeinated was better.
Yes.
Better for us all. All right. Go ahead.
No, you're good now.
All right, citizens forum. Do we have any citizens that wish to address the council? Okay, we'll now go into discussion of the wastewater treatment plant.
All right, thank you so much. As you all requested, we are here to discuss a little bit more in detail where we've been, where we are, and where we need to go as far as the wastewater treatment plant is concerned. So we'll talk a little bit about the history, bringing us to current day, some of the costs, the farm, the lagoon, and the PER. So we'll start with the history, which I've handed out to most of you. I can totally walk through this detail by detail or just highlight quickly the important parts, whatever you all would like to do is fine with me. So just in short order, in 2017 is when Whitman Record and Associates was awarded the contract, and the draft or initial efforts for the preliminary engineering report began. Due to just extensive revisions in-house from various personnel at the time, really once it was edited, the version just wasn't even gonna meet MDE standards for submission once it was vetted. So during that time, we also were looking for a farm for disposal. And Kip, if you wanna talk a little bit more about that, that's fine. But in short order, we really just couldn't locate a farm. The one that was located was too small, and it would have cost too much to get access to. Around 2018, 2019, the town explored alternative disposal options to include the outfall into the Corsica River. That is when that began. As a result, there was some other project progress slowdown, and so effectively, like, the project got halted around 2019. It was revitalized in 2021, and the town re-engaged Whitman Record and Associates to begin redrafting the PER that we've been working on since that time. Included in revitalizing the project, we took the time to visit treatment options, continue discussions with local farmers, and had more extensive conversations with MDE regarding the outfall, the treatment, funding options, and nutrient levels. Kip had mentioned to me that there was only one farm that expressed interest, but again, it's the same farm. So the same $10 million it was gonna cost us to get there, really the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
But this was back when we thought we had to own it.
Correct.
That's no longer true, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Did the 10 million include purchase as well as infrastructure?
That was
This is
just to get
yeah.
it to the
Get
farm.
pipe to
Right.
it and get the irrigation system
Not
going?
even get the
Oh.
irrigation,
Right.
that was
Just
just
the
to
pipe.
get it to the farm.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So the town also during this time in 2021 started working with David Bowen and Friedel to start lagoon expansion conversations at the current farm for storage of wastewater at the farm location, at the reuse farm. So bringing us to 2023, we submitted the initial draft in December. MDE has since had many opportunities to come back with feedback, and Whitman Record and Associates, I think it were 3 variations of back and forth dialogue between us and MDE, which also included a tour of a new set of eyes that reviewed our PER and had additional questions and hadn't actually come out to see our plant. So we scheduled for them to come out and do a tour. And as of today, we received approval for our PER. today. So couldn't have timed that better. So the PR has been approved for the ENR upgrade. So that's the wow factor at the end of this. Any questions, comments, thoughts, feedback on what I've discussed thus far?
So if I understand it, we have been treating to ENR level, even though our permit wasn't.
Not consistently.
Okay,
That's, the plant's designed for biomechanical nutrient removal. We have been able to get the levels down, and the levels look very good, but we can't consistently do it.
so like back in the 60 to 70% utilization, you were pretty consistent with keeping it, but that was years ago.
I'm sorry.
I said it's, as I recall, and my memory could be way wrong, but it seems like when you were in the 60 to 70% utilization, you were pretty consistently meeting ENR, which we're really proud of you for doing that.
Oh, yeah, back then,
Yeah.
we were doing very well with
Yeah.
it. And that's actually one of the issues we ran into talking to MDE about the PR and the processes that we were choosing one over another. They said, well, we thought you've been doing pretty good because you have been meeting ENR standards.
Right,
Here and there. And I said, yes, if you look at it, but we can't do it consistently. And it takes a lot of work to keep it at that. Once they went back and looked at data, more recent data, they could see that it's not consistent. So also after talking to them about what it takes to operate this SBR plant that we have compared to if we went with a different process, it would be a whole lot less labor intensive to keep it within permit parameters. So it's nice to hear them think we're doing a wonderful job.
Right.
But the reality is, we're not comfortable thinking that, so.
Right. Well, you know, it's good that you're always looking to do better, although I think you've been doing great. The inconsistency really emphasizes the urgency to get this done too.
Yeah, for the upgrade of the plant, I agree. So as far as the farm, you're saying you just kind of exhausted all measures for farms in the area that could be piped to. There's just this one farm that you've been able to have an interest, and it's not big enough, and it's, again, at that time, it was in 2021, $10 million just to pipe it there.
Yeah,
Am I getting that
wasn't
right?
the purchase price. Once we started putting some figures on paper as far as what it was gonna cost us to get it there, we realized there wasn't a whole lot of sense moving forward and negotiating with the farmer on a purchase price. So we didn't even.
Right. Right, I think it's, so the question too is like, well, now that you can lease it, it kind of doesn't it change just kind of what you're looking for perhaps?
It does to a point. See, the Queen Anne's County Water and Sewer comp plan, thank you. It says that we have to own it, and we have to get Queen Anne's County to change that in their comp plan.
Okay,
Don't we think they would, just based on public outcry related to the river outfall?
I don't know, I can't say that.
Yeah.
right.
But we had gone to them before when we found out that MD was going to let us give it to one of the neighboring farmers. He was willing to take it and install the irrigation works and everything. And we came to the county and petitioned for that change then. And because of 3 of the neighbors, the county commissioners wouldn't allow it. So that's why I say, you know, they're a loose cannon, and unless we, sitting here trying to go to them,
Right.
don't have political backing when we go to the county commissioners, it's very possible they'll do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, no matter where we discharge, we're gonna have resistance.
No, yeah,
It-
sure.
Really.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, so,
No, I totally understand that. I just wasn't sure to the extent which not having to own the farm sort of changed things, but I forgot about the
Yep.
Queen Anne's County factor in the ownership need.
But the Queen Anne's County factor, that discussion was in 2021?
No.
What year?
It was before. Do you remember?
I mean, it's been a while,
I'm gonna
right?
say
it's been a while.
Yeah, so again, we're in 2025, and we're trying to evaluate what we should do here, because we're coming to a point that we've got to, we got to make a decision. So, and at our last, what I discussed at, in the August meeting, that looking for a farm was diligently being done in January to find a farm, so we know that we can lease. As far as discussions with Queen Anne's County, having that, because that option of leasing came to light, like at the beginning of the year. So my point was just, have we like looked at this option in a way in which would have been talking to the county or whatever, just kind of questions that we have tonight about exhausting that avenue, that's
And
all.
that's one thing that I've talked with our inside team about. We have till, I think it's the end of this month, to petition for a change in the county's water and sewer comp plan. I have started working on that because I want to get it in the works, but I have some avenues I want to go through to get there, because right now it seems like the county needs a few things from us.
No, they
Yeah, I
don't
get
have a
it.
bargaining
We
chip.
should recruit the COG to help with that, because every other municipality in the county could be asking for the same thing. No, I mean, we don't have to fly solo on this.
Right.
yeah, and the county's has their own building moratorium or,
Right,
yeah,
for
they
allocations
just
as
did
well. So
that.
we're, the county's gonna just stop building because,
Well, and they want
right.
to make a whole lot of changes about how they exist in this town over the next few years. And they're gonna need a whole lot of EDU to do it.
Right.
Has MDE provided us a template of what a lease document would look like if we don't own it?
Now, MDE has the mindset of putting all that on the entity that's coming forward with a request for it. The closest one that I know of is in Kent County, and that was done, oh my goodness, we gotta be close to 15 or 20 years now. Which, that's no problem to get a copy of the lease for that, to have eyes on it. There are some places further down the shore that have worked towards that, but they've also, since MDE wanted you to own it, they wound up buying pieces of property to use, to irrigate on. So,
I get a little eye twitch when I think about just having the land in a lease agreement, because you think 10, 12 years from now, whoever owns the land says, nope, sorry, I'm gonna build houses instead, or who knows
Well,
what, and
yeah, it would
then
be
you're
like-
left hanging with a pipe that you got a cap, right?
it would wind up being a long-term lease.
Yeah, like
99 years or something.
99-year lease.
Yeah, right.
And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, going through the lease in Kent County, it's like that also.
Yeah, so you're
The
not,
other difference is the one in Kent County, they're not using it for their capacity, they're using it sort of like in an emergency situation. You have to treat it more stringently to discharge to a stream. They're a whole lot more relaxed when you're discharging to the field. The nitrogen, can be a little bit higher. They're still on it, but phosphorus can be a little bit higher than it is going into a stream. And even the bacteria counts can be higher. So,
but the type of plant you're looking to build, I mean, you're, again, the levels and all that, I mean, you're kind of committed to that level. no matter where it gets discharged. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm
Right.
correct, that's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. The other thing, that was one of the other reasons that we were looking at the EMR,
The membrane.
MBR,
MBR.
membrane plant, because that cleans it so much more, the effluent that's done.
Right.
Dave was saying that, you know, you don't need the setbacks on a spray irrigation field as far as what you do, or the boundaries. That doesn't mean MDE can't ask for additional things like that, or the county doesn't, but that just gets us that much closer to something.
If we make a whole lot of assumptions, and there's this hypothetical farm out there, and we spend $10 million to get a pipe to it, they may have irrigation in place or not, we don't know. But do we get to use the land for free because we're providing water? I mean, what would your napkin math say about how that relationship works with a farmer? And I know there's so many variables involved, but just hypothetically, what's your gut tell you about how that works?
To my knowledge, it's like, they have to take the water, and it's spelled out in there as to how much, you know, you can give them or they can take, you know, whether it's inches per day or something to that effect, you know, gallons, average gallons per day. But there will be some type of limit to that, but the farm is theirs to till and do however they choose to with it. All we're doing is putting water there to get rid of it.
So we're paying rent I guess what I'm getting at is, are we paying rent in addition to providing water? Is kind of what you're thinking?
It's not necessarily rent, but yeah, you're paying a lease fee
Yeah.
to use it to dispose of treated
Right.
wastewater.
And we would still pay for all the improvements. We would, the spray lagoon capacity, we would still have to do all those
We
things.
still have to do the
Right, and
capacity, right.
pay for a pipe to get it to wherever.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yes.
we would have to
And
pay-
maintain our irrigation equipment, that would be ours, I guess.
We'd
Right.
have to.
Unless they had it already.
And-
Yeah.
yes,
Just wanted
unless
to
they have
abandon
it
their
Probably don't
well
have
and go with
enough.
our stuff.
But, yeah, I know the one in Kent County, the county had to pay for the whole 9 yards. They built the reservoir there. They built all the pivots and all the piping to get it out there and out to the fields.
Yeah,
And they're still paying so much a year.
right.
That's the part that's a little wild to me.
I'm sorry?
The paying rent kind of in addition, like, to me, you would think, like, we give you the water, you take the water, and everybody's square.
Well, one thing to consider is the crops that they raise are more restricted when they're using effluent for watering. So they probably get less revenue per acre on what they're
Unless it's
growing.
grass or something,
It's,
Silage corn instead of
yeah.
Whole Foods corn, you know.
but that's the same way our farm is. It can't be anything used for human consumption.
Right.
Right.
So, and most of the farms around here aren't growing that type of
Right.
crops, so.
Yeah.
But it's also the opportunity cost that the owner doesn't have the opportunity in the future to be able to sell that to build houses.
Right.
It's stuck as agricultural.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might have a farmer that's interested in putting their farm into a conservation easement, and this is a more productive way to do that.
And
Can you do this with a conservation easement?
it depends, because.
I mean, it would
one
be,
of the
for
farms-
all intents and purposes, it would be a 100-year conservation easement.
But we looked at a farm that has a conservation easement on it. And because of the type of easement, that easement doesn't allow,
That was a DNR easement, right?
yeah,
Right.
it doesn't allow for treated wastewater effluent disposal.
Right.
So, remind me the cost for the stream outfall, that was also like $10 million, right?
More than 10 million.
It was 10 million plus, so.
And how would you compare the annual operating costs, the budget line item for an outfall versus what Kip was just talking about, what we have to do with paying rent and keeping up the spigots and all that routine?
And that's the key, and that's why more than 90% of wastewater treatment plants in Maryland have an outfall, because there's very little maintenance or upkeep on it, and it's in perpetuity. So I mean, there's never a question of, can I spray
Is there a life
water?
cycle for the pipe that's at the riverbed? I mean, every 20 years you got to go replace it?
99. It's going to be a plastic pipe, because it's going to be directional drilled, so however long it takes for plastic to break down, 1.5 inch thick plastic pipe to break down.
Yeah,
We'll probably
Yeah, that's not gonna be
here
the-
to witness.
99 years.
but you have to remember, MDE can limit you to the average daily flow
Yeah.
disposed of there.
Right.
And if they're only gonna let you do 480-some thousand a day average,
The rest has got to go to the
the
farm.
rest has gotta go to the farm or somewhere.
Right. And now we do it seasonally, right? As some months of the year, it all goes into the river, and some months of the year, it all goes to the farm.
Right, the way it is right now.
The way it is now.
Yep. And we do have, that permit is due to start renewing, it's 12 to 18 months from now, so that's coming quick.
Yeah.
The outfall or the farm permit? Or are they the same?
No, there's two different permits, but the outfall one, we have to renew. I
Right.
think that's the first one to renew. The other one's only maybe a year behind it for the renewal on that, so.
But the months we're going into the river, we would not be able to put it on the farm because the ground is frozen, right? I mean, that's why we have that difference.
I'm sorry.
So that's why we have that two thing, because the winter months, the farm can't accept the water because the ground is frozen, or then there's no crops to absorb it, et cetera.
Years ago, when it was cold enough that it would freeze all winter long, but here more recently, up until a few years ago, there was a couple of years that we irrigated out there all through the winter.
So
Now we can't because Department of Agriculture doesn't allow irrigation on the farm during the months of, was it December,
December.
January, and February?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it
sounds
is,
right.
to
Yes,
March. Because there's no plant uptake
Right.
of the nitrogen or the phosphorus, but when you look at the levels that were discharged, they're
Yeah.
negligible.
Yeah.
I know that Dave was in this meeting. Kip, I think it may have been when you were out. I remember specifically writing notes down that once we went through the process of if we did the outfall, we went through the process of testing, that eventually we would be able to do the 1 million year-round. So I think right now, right,
Be the 1 million when you can't.
when you can't. So
spray
you
irrigate.
still,
So
it's
during
still
the
going to
winter,
have to be.
You'd have to send 1 million gallons a day to the river,
Right.
right? But during the summer, when you can spray irrigate, you would have to spray
Offset.
irrigate.
You would have to
Between
spray.
the two.
You would have to,
Yeah.
okay.
I think what we're all looking for here, I'm not going to speak for them, but what I'm sensing is that, I mean, just a pencil cost comparison. Here's what it takes to get to the point in time where we can discharge, and here's what it's going to cost each year to deal with the discharge. And I know it's all going to be funny math. There's going to be all sorts of assumptions made. There's going to be all sorts of cushions built in, because that's what we all do to protect ourselves. But I think that at least that's what I was looking for as a numbers guy. That's kind of where my head was going. I'd like to see a apples to oranges comparison, just to
Yeah.
understand. And
Yeah.
you know, maybe it's worth 50% more to do a farm instead of out in the river. Maybe it's worth, you know, maybe there's a premium to do it in the river. I don't know, but be able to look at and discuss the numbers and what assumptions underlie each line item would be something that would be really valuable to me. And I'm sure that's extra work, and I'm sorry to impose that on you.
No, that makes perfect sense because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we just started exploring all these options.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely pull that information together. I mean, that's the only way to make an informed decision.
Right,
So-
right,
That's
right,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Instead of a gut decision. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right, so
Right.
kind of just, again, the numbers, and then
Right.
just the pros and
Some of the pros and
cons
cons.
of, like, you know, for full disclosure of the decision-making being done by town council. So I just think that's important as well, so I would agree with you, Jim. So a couple things just on the numbers. I just want to make certain kind of apples to apples. When I was looking back at the presentation you did last month, I just want to verify things for myself. So there's 55 million today, rounded up, okay? And so the lagoon for the 2 million, right, is a part of this 55 million, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I assumed it is, but you don't say it in the cost analysis, but I assume it is, because it's on the
I
other
don't
side.
think the
think it is.
lagoon is a part.
It
The lagoon-
would be, I mean, we're, because it's,
Because what's important to me is that here's the cost for this project, because on the other side, you speak to, like, here's the revenue side, here's how all this is getting funded. So I'm very important to me, here's all that we're gonna spend the money on, and here's how we're funding it all. So it's apples to apples. So that's why I'm asking the questions, that's all, just to verify that.
Well, we're doing the lagoon anyway, right? Irrespective of the planned improvement, irrespective of that timeline, you gotta do the lagoon anyway.
We're building the
Correct.
lagoon
Right.
anyway,
Right.
and we're using the,
So whatever that 2 million is or whatever should not necessarily be part of those numbers, because we're doing it anyway.
right.
Yeah, it's
Right, so what I'm trying to do is just to kind of verify, where are we in a shortfall right now? If it's costing us 55 million, and the lagoon's not in there, but it's on the other side, what's really our shortfall? That's what I'm trying, just the math of it all. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yes.
but that's, so what's in the numbers that you saw are really based on the outfall extension into the river. And my assumption, and again, I appreciate the opportunity to speak more freely this evening, is that the farm, yeah, it's a variable. I mean, you don't know how far it is. It's $1 million a mile to build this pipeline across land. It's more than that to build the pipeline out into the river, because you're going under the river.
Okay, right, going out,
So on top of the $1 million a mile to get the pipe there, you don't know what the cost of acquiring, leasing the field is. We have really no concept for what that would be. And then, yes, you need to put a storage lagoon on that additional field. What you're expanding now wouldn't be adequate for the additional field.
Right.
So shoot from the hip and give me the number for under the river. You got $1
That's
million
what's in
a
there.
mile?
That's what's in there. That's
Is it
a real.
10.8?
Is it 2 million a mile? Is it?
What's 11 plus 30% contingency and escalation or something? So it's like,
I
say,
guess it's a shorter
Say
pipe, but it's more
15
expensive per
million.
mile, so.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not,
right.
Right, so we're saying 10.8 and then the
It's in there.
contingency.
Yeah.
Two layers.
Is it a
Yeah.
mile?
I didn't think
I
so.
think you said it was a mile to a mile and a half out to where we're currently doing the mixing study.
So roughly, if you say,
Unit cost, it's about a 10X. But the good news is we don't have to go as far.
correct.
Got it.
And then the ongoing maintenance is significantly
Is a variable
less.
too, yeah. Okay, thanks.
So, but what I was talking about, which is great, but the lagoon that you're doing anyway, right? So the 2 million to do the expansion of the lagoon we're doing already, right? Is in the funding stream on this presentation.
No.
Yes, it is.
It is.
The funding,
The
yes.
funding is
The
there,
funding.
but the line item for the lagoon is not. I understand what you're
So,
asking
yeah,
for.
cost.
So you want to see
right.
like the full picture.
Apples to
To apples.
apples.
I got you.
To say,
Yeah.
what is right, sitting here today, right? How much is it costing us, best that we know? And what funding sources do we have? Because the lagoon you're doing anyway, it's not in the 55 million, but you have it as a revenue source for funding.
So it's a little optimistic.
It's
The
not.
numbers are a little
it's-
optimistic.
Yeah, this revenue
That makes
is,
sense.
is not part of this 55 million. That's all I was trying to verify.
Right.
Does that make
The
sense?
ARPA funds, right,
Right,
correct.
that's all I'm trying, because we have to fund this project. And
that
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
where are we gonna fund it and how's it gonna get funded? So,
You're suffering through two accountants' questions here.
No, it's fine.
yeah, and so that's the 2 million. So relating to, it's probably in the 55 million, back to your letter that you wrote for us last month, that the, what we approved for WRA was 2.4 million and change, okay? and you put a line to say this doesn't include engineering of any items that may be required for new discharge. So I'm just trying, again, back to the 55 million, is it full cost for engineering cost in your 55 million?
No.
Not for the outfall.
Okay, so see what I'm trying to get my arms around? So what is the cost of the project for, the outfall? Right now, I'm thinking it's 55 million. Best to know today.
And what you really need to know is going to be what funding ENR can provide. The ENR grant funding, Bay Restoration funding, that's the piece that we don't really know. I mean, you have an estimate in there, and that's what the PER.
No, I disagree.
We're not
I'm
gonna
trying to get,
design to the
let's
funding.
just try to get the cost down on the left side, right? What's the total cost of this project if it was a fallout? And here it is, best that we know today. Again, it's variables, there's assumptions. Is it 55 million? Does it include all the engineering costs? Because we need to know that. We need to understand the best that we know today what the full costs are. And I'm not certain that it's in the 55 million. And my question was about the engineering costs that you said, Kip. It's not in this. What you're approving tonight that we approved for the 2.8, it wasn't in there. So
That was only for the design of the
that's right.
plant.
That's right.
The plant.
Right.
That gets to the pipe that either goes to the river or to the farm.
Right. So
And the reason is, we've got to keep this moving forward.
Yeah,
of course, no, I understand.
Nobody expects you to make up your mind tonight or even, I mean, it may not even be 6 months down the road. Are we even gonna look for farm discharge? Or are we gonna try and do all of it outfall to the stream? We're still putting a study together, what the record is, for the mixing study.
Right.
So we can't even start to put numbers on that side of it.
Yeah.
Until all of that's done and completed with MDEs.
how different is the engineering cost for outfall versus farm? Farm's kind of old school, just do the pipe and it all works.
They're not very different on the
Oh, really?
engineering
Okay.
side. It's the construction side. I mean, the
Okay.
directional drilling under the river is a very specialized,
Right.
labor intensive versus lots of people do, over the ground,
Right.
open trench pipelines. So a lot more competition. So that's why the much lower cost. But from an engineering standpoint, it's actually easier to say drill under the river. 'Cause
Okay.
there's no utilities under the river. There's
Not
no-
boring
no,
under
uh,
roadways, you're just all
Right,
good.
no easements that you have to worry about, parcel by parcel by parcel, so.
Right.
So the mixing study and all, you're saying that's still a work in progress still. So so MDE has approved this just today, but we don't have all the results relating to the study?
The only part that they
I
approved.
understand.
Yeah, the only part that they've approved is the preliminary engineering report for the design of just the wastewater plant.
Just the plant.
Yeah.
No discharge.
no
Okay,
discharge.
thank you, thank you. So again, I just want to make certain I'm hearing correctly what was approved. Okay, thank you.
All right.
And the plant really doesn't change where the water goes, except the pipe's got to go this way or this way out of the plant.
Right.
Other than that,
The discharge.
everything's exactly the same.
Okay,
That's why we're
thank
willing
you.
to move forward on the wastewater treatment plant portion of it. But my point was also the Bay Restoration Fund only pays for the wastewater treatment plant ENR upgrade. The state doesn't pay for expansion
Right.
of wastewater treatment
That's
plants.
correct.
Which means that it won't fund any of the outfall or spray irrigation field or spray irrigation pipeline. None of that gets included.
Right.
With the ENR upgrade of the wastewater treatment plant, part of that is MDE pays for the design of that portion of the project. So that's where it starts getting more muddy. Part of that 2.4 million will be grant funded as part of the ENR upgrade. So that's where it becomes more difficult. We can put the 2.4 million into the 55 million, and then there's gonna be a design of something for the outfall, which would be in addition to that. But
Right.
all these additions have nothing to do with ENR grant funding. They're all above what grant funding is going to touch.
So
So
to-
just looking at grant funding, you can look at the 2.4 million, the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, and what MDE, and that's what they're developing now, is the grant funding eligibility.
So to oversimplify this, when we look at buckets of consideration, there's the plant,
Yep,
there's an outfall, engineering, construction,
yep,
there's a generic farm, and then to get to the farm, and then there's also the lagoon, because we're doing that anyway.
Right.
So there's a lot of little buckets, and they all go together, they rarely overlap. So if we can look at those discrete buckets as good of an estimate as you can get in terms of, I mean, the operating cost on the plant's kind of a foregone, there's no real option there, but the operating cost between the others is something you're gonna have to live with for a while. You're gonna have to live with for a while. I won't. Except for my bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah, that's something I mentioned last time that concerns me is the numbers we're tossing out. I mean, this is all we've got, and that's what they're gonna put in our rate study. Like, crap, we need some, sorry, we really need some tighter numbers for Dave to understand what goes in that model.
And,
And you know this as well as anybody.
yeah, and like I've said forever and a day, that's why you were supposed to, and it's even in the water and sewer policy and ordinance, that you are to take all of the allocation fees, they go in account to pay forward for upgrades.
Right.
If that was done since day one, you'd have had a pot of money there to, I'm not saying it would have covered this entire wastewater plant, but it would have knocked a big chunk out of it.
But that's
Figure-
neither here nor there today.
It's gone.
It doesn't matter today.
Yeah,
in our
that's why-
decision making. It's like,
While you're hit with a big,
right,
you're stuck with a big bill.
right. So,
Just thinking about funding, let's make sure our lobbyists review, as fun as that will be for them, review the recording of this work session.
She's actually watching right now.
Okay, good.
And then we have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay, great, because my wheels are turning a little bit about Bay restoration funds aren't the only state funds that exist. I'm just thinking, you know, governor's got a massive focus on housing right now and expanding accessibility to housing. We're talking about 300 acres of different housing types in the Providence Farm expansion. We're talking about Carter Farm. I wonder if we shouldn't approach this from an expansion lens when we talk to the state about money. Like I feel like last time we went, it was all about the technology and all that's great, but that's the stuff Bay Restoration will cover. Thinking about it from just taking it from a different angle in terms of why should the state invest in this plant in particular? Well, if you're trying to cluster development around towns, if you're trying to make sure there's affordable housing types, if you're trying, you know, we're now the county seat in a county that's got a moratorium, which makes our plant expansion maybe even more critical. So just lots to think about. You want to come up? Because you got to be at a mic. Kip's like, get me out of here. You can have it.
Good evening. So I just wanted to piggyback on some of the funding. So I did get a chance to talk with MES, and they did give us a list of potential funding that could help us with the wastewater treatment plant. So that is in the works, and the lobbyists did connect us with them. So we are looking for kind of some alternative funding because, as we know right now, we don't know. We don't really have a significant pulse on funding as far as whether they're going to be loans or grants. So we're looking at kind of a big picture of where we can kind of pull some funding from. So.
Awesome.
yeah, and you may have said this before, but like in the January, the MDE Clean Water Fund, which was about $15 million that you're presenting. So that's no longer in your slide deck as a funding source.
Loan is.
Say again?
The
Because the loan was just
Would be a loan.
to be determined based on grant funding. So it was very widespread, but the loan category, the MDE Clean Water Fund, approximately $15 million.
So I think that was the additional funding we had applied for the bay restoration. So right now, we're still waiting till, I think October. They should have, I guess we'll know whether we're gonna get funded for that. So we do have that funding. And then we know we had that 15 million, and then we did additional 19 million, and that was for the bay restoration.
Okay.
So that's the clean
yeah.
water that
So
you're
as we
speaking of.
navigate through this, it's just kind of knowing cost and possible funding. We may not, we'll know in November, you could say that, but it's just full disclosure of both cost and possible funding to know how this project will be funded. I just think that's crucial, as we're gonna build this plant, how much is it gonna cost, and how are we gonna fund it? It's your fiduciary responsibility. It is. I take it very seriously, and I need to know that information from that perspective. So that's all I'm saying. The more disclosure, the better. To kind of, or nope, we didn't get this because but we kind of knew about it tonight that we're here, but unfortunately we didn't get it. It changes the scenario. So.
And I can provide you guys, I keep grant trackers also, so I can actually provide y'all with that, where we are with our grants.
Yeah, no, but it's more back, I'm just,
Right.
it's back to the slide deck. This slide deck is updating us about current state. So I take it very seriously, and I'm looking, I'm like, where is it, how did it change? So this should have everything in it, as best as we know today. I know it's a moving target, as we said, but this is our document that we're looking at to make decisions, for the town. So that's why I'm just asking these questions,
good
to make
questions.
certain. And it's, again, we're all trying to do the right thing here.
Right.
Please know that. I realize that very much so. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
so-
you.
Yeah, thank you.
So at a prior meeting, I had asked a question. Ashley, you got all excited, thought I was changing the direction here, but hear me out. Is there a way to build this modularly where we don't need 55 million now, but we permit to say 750 now, knowing that when that gets close to 80, then we add another $250,000? I'm not trying to deny the
No, I get what
$250,000.
you're saying.
But I'm trying to look at how we can modularize this so that we take it in bite sizes instead of trying to swallow the whole thing. And I don't know if that's feasible, possible?
Absolutely, no, and we've been considering that. And it also feeds into your rate study. I mean, what information are you gonna give, what
Right.
capital, what loans are you gonna tell the rate study to plug into
Right.
to their work? But yes, there's definitely a $750,000 gallon per day option. And it confuses things.
Here again, it's math. I mean, does that mean that the whole project costs 120% of what it would be to build it all at once, or?
The big key, not to muddy it too much, but the big key is that 750,000 gallons per day, there is a possibility that you could continue to send all 750,000 gallons per day into gravel run and not have to construct the $10+ million outfall out into the Corsica River.
Until we wanted to add that other $250,000.
If you could find a farm to spray irrigate the 210,000 gallons per day, which is a smaller ask to find a farm that can do 210,000 versus 450,000 gallons per day. And I'd also mention, if it's okay, that if there are county-owned lands that are free, are not currently being used, that can be irrigated at a very reasonable price to the town, I would suspect. Obviously, there's not a 300-acre free parcel that the county owns, but I do see that there's a 318-acre that's being partially used.
Right.
That's less than 2 miles from the wastewater treatment plant.
So some 8 years ago, from a prior county administrator, the answer was, no, Jim, the ick factor, not gonna happen.
But again, things have changed.
I know.
And so,
I just
so
got a very terse
I
response
get,
8
yeah,
years
but we
ago.
get historical information. It's old data. We're in, again, kind of what Ashley said about growth, affordable housing, the state's focus, doing smart growth. I mean, we're just in a different space, I feel, than we were, 2 years ago.
And we're talking about a higher standard of effluent too, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what Kip had mentioned. I mean, the MBR plant will meet Class 4 requirements for water reuse in Maryland, which again means that there is no restriction to public access. So you can irrigate baseball fields when they're not playing.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not you can get 2.5 inches per week and really get a lot of wastewater out there, that's a whole different thing. But it's just the point of, the water's so clean that there
Yeah.
aren't the normal 200 feet of setback to
Right.
baseball fields.
Yeah, and
It's
there's
just-
tremendous education, whatever way we go here, right, about what we're doing and the improvement of the wastewater treatment plant and what we're doing for public safety. So that's really important from an educational perspective, whether it's on a farm or in the stream and, or in the river, there's a lot of discussion. And I know you've done that during Corsica River, I know that, but there's just a major campaign as it relates to this, I think, communication-wise, about wherever we land on this, why we landed there, and public safety, so.
Looking at the other end of the pipe, the inbound side of the pipe, if we assume infill of everything that's in town limits now, if we assume all the projects on the horizon are built out, where does that take us in terms of flow?
Sorry, Kip.
It's, I'm gonna have to redo the numbers, but I think it's gonna take you beyond the 750.
Okay.
If you start, especially when you look at the larger tracks, if they were developed, the Providence Farm, the Turpin Farm.
Turpin Farm.
Yeah,
The Carter Farm. Yeah, the Carter Farm, start adding them in.
And the business park, that could be a huge, the business park could be huge.
Yes, the business park especially.
Yeah, it could take a
They got a huge
lot
ask
of,
tonight. Yeah, okay.
and then the only other thing is about the impact fees. So as far as the study you're speaking about, Jim, and just how this all ties together, because that is a funding source for this plan.
Yes.
And so, that's an important study that's going to be helping to fund this plant. So I don't know, again, things are moving, how they do it, kind of what you spoke to, and how we do that.
I see impact fees more as funding for the next plant.
I understand. You could put together an argument is the impact fee is paying for the infrastructure that is using.
No, I understand that, but then a future town council sits here having these very same conversations because no money has been set aside for the next plan. I mean, I feel like we've inherited a problem because there was no plan. It was just like, well, someday we'll need a new plan and somebody else will figure that out. And I just hesitate to make that our strategy if there's other options. Now, if there's not, there's not. But to me, I would rather really look at impact fees as kind of what pays for what's next.
But we're also still paying off the loans from the previous
right.
plant, right? So, we could at least not burden the next
Yeah.
council in 20, 30 years with that problem, I'm not sure if we can
Yeah.
not get by without borrowing money. A choice of borrowing money or using the impact fees or allocation fees to pay for the plant.
This is just everything,
Yeah,
including
right.
current water bills, is all an inherited problem from
Yeah,
the easy decision being made rather than the right one.
right.
But they're all options.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's like, and it'll be a decision to be made about that, but just what it's bringing, the affordability of this plant and how it's gonna be afforded, to be paid for. But it's just one more thing to say, here's what it would bring to the table to pay for the plant.
And there's also to look at the exaction fees from developers coming in. We've got
Well, that's
3
what I'm saying,
developers
yeah.
coming in and
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know everybody wants to know today what the numbers are, how many dollars it's gonna be. Nobody can even nail that down until we get, and Dave can correct me if I'm wrong, till we get to the 90% design phase of this plant. When we get that far, everybody has a better feeling for what MDE is gonna require. We could start giving you hard numbers, but that's part of the reason you know, you've got a pot here is X number of dollars and a pot here. You can't put them all together until you know what the puzzle looks like.
Right, we've
And
got a
we're not there
30%
yet.
contingency in this now, so, you know, that will hopefully narrow down, but it gives us a starting point at where if you're using the same contingency logic throughout, then at least you know that it's still kind of apples to apples. I really appreciate what you're saying, but we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just, we keep, continue to refine, you know.
And I'm just saying that happens, but it's still a moving target till you
Oh,
get
absolutely.
further in.
That's what strategic planning is all about. It's constantly moving, but this is your best guess. And then you get, again, best estimate, because you have to plan for, you know, to know that it's not something double that. Hopefully.
Well, based on what Kip just said, I withdraw my suggestion about going to 750 initially and then.
Yeah.
Because we'll be there. And,
Well,
you know,
again,
5 years, we'll be in the same position, like, okay, what are we doing now?
But I would challenge that some. We need to see that. We need
Yeah,
the
yeah,
data.
yeah.
We need to say, here, let me show you everything that's happening, you know, and here's where we'll be
Here's the
based on these
projected flow,
projects that are in the
right.
pipeline.
Well, and I think that helps make some argument to the state of like, for us to have expanded capacity, the outfall pipe alone is a substantial cost. If you want towns to be able to support the growth of housing in the state, there's a heck of a big price tag on that. And, you know, we need support to do it. I think, like, obviously the funding situation in the state is volatile. I mean, everywhere through the federal government, but I think there's an element of here, of just needing to really think about how we're messaging this, both to the county and the state, in terms of this is not just our problem. Like, this is very much a joint problem for all of us. You're talking about a county just east of the bridge, like, with a moratorium at the county. So where's it gonna go? Like, they need houses, and where are they gonna go?
And the other thing is, like, to your question about where we're gonna be if everything was to build out and everything. You gotta remember out 304 in the county's plan, there's a farm out there that they've got slated for industrial park. The other thing is, they want water and sewer out there across 301
Yeah.
for the state highway, state
For all their
police.
building,
The
yeah.
state owns, unless it's sold, the
The truck stop.
Truck stop.
thank you, you know, that kind
How
of
much
stuff.
effluent can we spray?
Do it.
All of the trucks.
They sleeved under the highway when they built that so that we could get utilities to it, right?
Yeah.
And it's got failing septic, right?
All the buildings, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of joke on but spray irrigation doesn't have to be an agricultural field.
No, I know.
it
I'm
can
saying,
be-
like, how much land is out
It
there
can be
that's unused?
forested, it can be any type of field that's
Yeah,
not
so,
wet.
right.
Right.
Widen your
It's
view
not-
there.
not on
Don't
there.
think just farm and corns and soy. I mean, it could be bigger than that. So, thank you. It's like, we need to, like, look at this differently, you
The
know?
tree
Yeah.
farm is the greatest, the greatest place to use it at.
Yes.
There's far less maintenance with
Yeah.
it. You
Somebody
know,
wants a Christmas tree farm. We got all the
Yeah,
water
something
they could
like
ever
that.
need.
It's my dream to own one of those, but I don't yet, or I'd help you guys out. Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to really cast a wide net. I also think we have to be less afraid to ask the county for things.
Yeah.
Like, the county is not afraid to ask us for things, y'all. I mean, not even a little bit.
What were you expecting us to talk about that we haven't brought up yet?
Nothing, just that, you know, I mean, your modular in the 750, I mean, yeah, it doesn't get you really what you need. But the big chunk of it is that outfall, whether it goes into the river or
Yeah.
5-10 miles away
Right.
to a field. That's a big chunk that just, there's no grant funding. I mean, there
Right.
may be other state
Yeah.
funding,
Yeah,
but from
yeah,
MDE,
Yeah.
that they can't, and USDA, they don't touch that. They don't touch
Right.
buying
That part of the
land or
project,
expansion
Yeah.
of wastewater treatment. plants.
Understandable. I just refuse to accept that there's not one-time money we could get for them.
Right, but
Got
from
a lot done with
our
that money.
standpoint, rather than waiting until November, December, January, when the funding picture becomes clear, to start off thinking about this as a modular, that 750 is, you have another option with gravel run and potentially a smaller field, spray irrigation field, in addition to what you have now. You know, that would be a chunk of money less than the whole one MGD. And MDE, you know, the E&R, and like I say, you can modularize it. You can build, you know, 2 trains now, and you can add another train, and now you went from 750 to 1 MGD, and you know the cost of doing that in the future. And the other part, I just, you know, the whole development, and that's a risk. You know, whether or not they're actually going to move forward, whether or not they're actually going to sell the houses. So that's kind of a chicken and the egg.
Well, no, I mean, that's what happened in Ridgely, and now they have insane water bills because they built that thing on spec and it didn't happen because the bottom fell out of the housing market. And I don't think we can rule out that the economy is about to get a lot wackier for at least a couple of years. So, yeah. I think what I would like to see, and I don't know if that's town staff or you or who, but like one pager format of like, if we only went to 750, what does the world look like? Both, you know, funding
Input and output.
Yeah. Both funding need and how many rooftops we could add as a result, let's say, or however we can describe it.
Right.
And then $1 million, because I think there's a compelling case to be made of like, hey, Governor Moore, you want to expand housing? Well, what we're faced with is we can go to 750 and discharge into gravel run, but that kneecaps the development that we want to see, that you want to see in the town, or somebody can pay for the difference here. You know, what is the difference between those two? If it's 10 million, 15 million, you know, whatever it is, like that at least gives us a number to say, here's what we need and here's why we're asking you for it.
750 is just sort of baseline.
Yeah.
Just to deal with what we've got on our radar screen.
Right, 750 just kind of gets us hobbling along. You want us to be a player in the, you know, solving the housing crisis? Well, that's a different price tag.
And my thought was, I wasn't trying to slow the growth, I was just trying to take it in bites. Pay for this, and while we're using it, then we figure out about the next. And, you know, I don't know if that's a viable strategy or not, but I just wanted to look at it.
Well, I
And
mean,
maybe while Providence builds out and these others build out, that gives us time to look at where we're gonna do that other quarter.
And Providence is, I would assume, very likely going to be phased in a major way. And so, like, there's some time there.
5-10 year time limit maybe?
Yeah, but I also think, I don't know. I just think from a funding perspective, being able to compare those two things could be a helpful data point of like, we could, and maybe it's 3 things. It's we just upgrade the plant with 0 expansion, which we know is problematic.
Right.
We go halfway to where we want to go, or we go all the way to where we want to go. What does that look like in terms of investment? And on the flip side, what does that look like in terms of growth capacity in the town? And I'm not out here just thinking we should build like a bajillion houses.
No.
But some, for sure. I find Carter Farm and Turpin Farm and the Providence Farm to be kind of acceptable amounts of growth. How do we get there? And if we aren't going to get there, why? You know, like just to be able to articulate that if at the end of the day, we don't have the money, and I'm like super unwilling to do what councils past have done and just, you know, borrow a ton of money with 0 plan.
Right.
I mean, if it weren't for COVID relief, we'd be in a lot different financial position. If it weren't for bank rates and all of that as a result of COVID, I don't even know what this town looks like financially if we didn't have COVID. And I don't want us like praying for the next crisis to get us out of a mess of our own creation.
Well, again, doing the halfway and then the whole way isn't I'm not trying to shortchange the process.
No.
I'm trying to take it in bites. And helps us navigate potential growth or a potential slowdown or whatever, so we don't wind up looking like Ridgely. We went to $1 million, but guess what? We're only using 600.
Right. No, totally agree.
I think the incremental, if it's feasible to do, you know, I think it makes sense that you're not doing too much.
And let's
From a
just,
financial, you know, financial responsibility.
let's just look at it from an information perspective too.
Are we asking too much?
Absolutely not. No,
Okay, good.
that's what you really need to know.
Yeah, that's what we
I
really
mean, you
need.
have a do-nothing option too, but that means
No, I don't think we do.
absolutely no more.
No, I don't think we have a do-nothing option, but
Tip's
it's,
telling us
I have
we're
an
over.
option on it.
It's, right, that's the do-nothing option.
I don't want to see Kip actually combust right here.
Exaggerating. I mean, MD, they can't stop you from issuing building permits, but they can start fining you very hefty fines.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time that you
Yeah,
exceed
and we
your
don't want
permit.
that.
Yeah.
No, and
It won't be any more kid gloves.
And I think all of us up here care about the environment a little bit more than that. So it's not an option, but I do think there's options of improve the plant, expand the plant a little bit, expand the plant all the way.
Correct.
And I think that helps other people recognize their role in this effort of like, part of Queen Anne's County's calculus of putting a moratorium is probably like, well, Millington and Centreville and Queenstown and others have the ability to grow, so why does the county need to grow in the limited space that it's grown in a bit wild of ways over the last several years? Well, if municipalities start saying, well, we can't grow either, but that doesn't paint too great of a picture for Queen Anne's County any more than it does the town in terms of tax revenue or anything else.
Correct.
All right, well, we need to,
Let me ask one more question. If we're going to another farm with a pipe, does it need to extend from our current farm, or can it go a completely different direction from the plant?
It can go from a completely different direction.
It can.
It can.
We're kind of building out the farm to be able to go from there to farms around it. But like Dave said, yeah, we can go from the plant wherever.
Because we're probably building another lagoon anyway, and the whole bit, so, okay, thank you. If we did another one, we're gonna have to upgrade the pipe from the plant to the farm to be able to handle the capacity of what goes to the farm plus what goes to the other farm?
Do you correct me
I
if
don't,
I'm
we
wrong?
looked at that, and I don't recall,
I
to get
don't,
to one MGD, I don't recall the answer.
I
Okay.
don't remember having to do it. We do have to upgrade the pumping capacity, but I think
The throughput will work, though.
Yeah, I think the existing pipeline with the new pump could handle 750, but to get to one, I think we had to change out the pipeline, existing, just to get to the existing. If you're gonna piggyback, if you're gonna go to the existing
Right.
farm and then
And
go
then
somewhere
beyond, yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah.
just to get the one MGD to the first farm, you needed a new pipeline as well.
Okay. You just want a second parallel from what you got?
Right.
Yeah, got it, thanks.
And again, this is all the variability of where is the farm, how large is the farm?
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many
Yeah,
gallons is
yeah,
that
we're
farm
just asking
taking versus this
questions.
farm?
And that's another incremental cost for, consider whether you go whole hog right off or take it in steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, affordability. So what are next steps, kind of like,
Math.
but what month, how, so we're in September, when do we kind of like meet again? Like, I'm looking, when do we talk about it again?
I can work with the town to write you another letter. I don't know that we would need to meet until there's more clarity on the funding. I mean, we can give some ranges of numbers on different options, but
We're not gonna design and build this to match the funding. We're gonna design and build what we need and then go find the money to pay for it. Is that, I mean, we're not gonna say, okay, well, we can only build to 30 million and then figure out what'll fit within 30 million. I don't think that's our strategy, is it? I think we're gonna figure out what we need to build and then go find the money to pay for it.
yeah.
So the funding comes after we look at what it costs to do it. I don't wanna build based on what money we can get. I think that's a
I think that'll get us in
way to look
trouble.
at it.
Right.
Okay.
But again, that.
Funding's important, but yeah.
But the incremental part of it, again, the options, so basically the incremental approach I kind of talk about, I kind of define it. And then the options of like, well, here, we do, the different discharging, which again, I'm not saying it's this month, or it's just like, again, maybe it's December, I don't know. I'm like, when we meet again, to kind of like, here's what we have, here's the information we have, to kind of keep updating the council as we move through it. And that's reasonable, whatever that is reasonable.
Okay. We need to at least address one closed session issue before our meeting.
Okay.
So if we could get a motion to adjourn this work session.
Let's adjourn this work session.
Second.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you all very much.
We'll now convene this September 4th, 2025 meeting of the Centreville Town Council. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, so we have several minutes in the packet. They are the minutes from the July 29th show cause hearing, the July 31st work session, and the August 7th regular meeting. We can deal with them at once if there's no changes, or deal with them individually if there are changes. Does anyone have any changes or corrections to any of those sets of minutes?
No changes here.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve all three sets of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve all three sets of minutes from the July 29th show cause hearing, the July 31st work session minutes, and the August 7th meeting minutes.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Next up, we'll read a closed session statement. The town council met in closed session on Thursday, September 4th, 2025 at 6:41 PM to seek advice of legal counsel in accordance with the Maryland Open Meetings Act. 5 members of the town council voted to close the session. The authority to close the session is found in section 3305 of the general provisions article. The town council discussed the following topic: seeking advice from legal counsel on 2 matters. There were no actions taken. The following members and staff were present: Ashley H. Kaiser, President; Jeffrey D. Keel, Vice President; Daniel B. Worth, Jim A. Beecham, and Sandra Lee Huffer, members; Sharon Van Emberg, Town Attorney; Carolyn Brinkley, Town Manager; Gay Adams, Town Clerk; and Clifford Matthews, Public Works Director. The closed session adjourned at 6:54 PM. Okay. Next up, we have a citizens forum. Citizens are requested to keep their comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council? All right, seeing no one. First up is old business. Sorry, I gotta get there in my packet. That is ordinance 06/2025, which is the electronic sign code, and essentially to expand it to allow one at the high school. You have a letter in your packet from the Planning Commission recommending approval with the addition of an annual permit review and renewal provision, which I think is a great idea and would help us with the existing electronic signs we have in town. Also, in full transparency, as much as both Council Vice President Keel and I are trying to help out Queen Anne's County Public Schools by doing this, I don't think it's good enough for them. So I'm not actually sure that they're even going to put up an electronic sign because we're not giving them the one that they want.
They want the same exact one they have down Canaan High
Which is like a
School.
television screen.
Yes.
They,
Full color, a whole bunch of colors, yes, it's just.
I heard that at their teacher all staff, they talked about how they could have had a nice sign and the town has stood in their way. So there's
Yeah.
like zero appreciation for what we're trying to do here.
Oh, well.
So I could frankly take or leave this ordinance at this point. I was really, willing to allow the high school to have what we've allowed the fire department and the Legion to have, putting them in similar categories and frankly similar inoffensive location. But
Well, I think the annual review would be useful for the current
Yeah,
permit
agreed.
holders. And
Maybe
so-
we should consider, depending on the outcome of this, maybe we should consider that as a standalone issue if this fails.
yeah, I also think, if we did approve this, because I would still vote to support it as much as I'm just like befuddled, is that if they did, I believe, and this is like, I've not spoken to them directly, but it's my understanding that someone is donating the sign, and they're donating them the same thing they got on Ken Island. So they just want to run it the same way, multicolor sort of TV screen style situation. With the annual process, they could lose their privileges if they did that. Because I do think they're going to be an enforcement issue. Like, I think that's just reality based on the communication thus far and, the decision to try to drum people up rather than have a conversation with the town. But that's where that is. We can't really act on it until we add that provision, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We didn't add it in yet. 'Cause
Right.
We wanted to see if you all were receptive to it till we spent the time and effort to put that in there.
No, I think let's do it. I mean, do we have consensus to add that in?
Yeah, as far as just relating to an annual permit and review.
Would like the fire department be grandfathered in, or we can add that
I mean, the recommendation is to have existing
Yeah.
signs.
No, I want them to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying legally we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you'll start to run that according to the code?
I'm not in charge of it, so
But like-
I can tell it that, I can advise them
Give 'em a heads up
to
there.
run it to the code.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, if we could add that, then we'll consider it at a later meeting. And, you know, hopefully, Queen Anne's County Public Schools wants to be a partner with us in doing something that makes sense out at the high school.
So do we need to formally table this or just let it ride?
yeah.
We just let it ride, right? It's a second read. We don't have to
Isn't there a
consider
public
it.
hearing coming up
Yeah.
Oh,
next meeting?
All
Yeah,
right,
so we
well,
can't.
never mind. Couldn't take
So
action
we can
anyway.
talk, like, we can discuss this with the amendment at the public hearing.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Next up is ordinance 12-2025, amendment to chapter 170, the TND PUD standards. This is also a second reading. You also have a letter, from the planning commission on this one. And so I would, Councilmember Worth, entertain any comments you have in discussing this. And then we also have a public hearing on this one, right?
On the next,
On the
our
18th.
next meeting.
Yeah, they were surprised we made so few changes, but they did notice in the table, and it says that in the Kara's memo, they need to include accessory dwelling units in the table, I think it's the parking table, is that right? Yeah, I think it's the parking table. Where is that? Because now it just talks about accessory apartments, and we now have a category of accessory dwelling units.
Right.
So it's just, you know, it allow one parking space for that as well. So,
On page 22.
yeah, 22, thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Right, so where it says, accessory apartment units, we just include, yeah, you know, comma, accessory dwelling units, so. right.
Okay. That's fine with me. Anything else on this?
No.
All right, so another one with just a public hearing coming up. Okay. Next up, we have a whole bunch of new business that involves KIP. So if you wanna,
Well, you're off the hook, didn't you?
if you wanna come up, the first thing we have is Queen Anne's County's request for the White Marsh Park sewer connection. And they're looking for 2 sewer allocations for White Marsh Park.
Okay. We've spoke about this before. They're very close to making this, this connection out there. So I wanted to get this stuff straight. You can see before you what the charges are and everything. Industry standard is anything outside of the town limits is charged at time and a half. That's how the allocations for this are figured, and that's also how the monthly fees are figured as well. We need to draft a public works agreement and get it to them also and get that signed. That'll limit how many connections they can put on this line. Right now, the way it's figured is, I think it's a bathroom, building a new bathroom facility for men and women, and also hooking up their shop with the bathroom out there. And again, this is only sewage. They're not asking for water. They have wells out there that are adequate. So,
Okay.
okay.
I move approval.
And then,
Or- I'm sorry.
Yeah, but one thing, because I think it's important to speak, because that was the issue about the denied access service. You know, once it's designed, the town will draft the public works agreement, which is what you said, but just highlighting that aspect, which is important to prevent any further, you know, connections in the future. So I just think from a public perspective, that's great. Thank you.
So since we don't provide water, we don't have any way of measuring how much sewer they're actually sending to us, right?
Yeah, on something like that, we
Right.
would, we figured off the usage of the fixtures,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, and go by MDE's standards, like at a flat rate for it. If we really wanted to get down to figuring out how many gallons a month they're sending us, we could ask for hour meters on the pumps, and the pump is made to pump X number of gallons per minute, and then in much time it ran this many minutes. So there is a way.
Okay, yeah, I think we should try to get that
I
information.
think we should,
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
because they do have some
Yeah, just because,
tournaments and stuff out there where it's going to be increased, like,
But I understand that, but also you gotta think that wintertime,
nothing.
nothing,
Oh, man.
but
Yeah.
still.
yeah,
It averages out.
they may
yeah.
even winterize the bathrooms in the wintertime. So I think it would even out.
Okay.
We just spent an hour talking about, wastewater treatment and our limited allocation capacity, and, we'd had this conversation a few years ago related to the jail and some other county request, and I know this is only 2, but it's like, this is only 2, and then that 2 here and 2 there, and just how much of our limited wastewater treatment capacity do we want to give to the county? I think that's a legitimate question. It's like, how much of our limited capacity do we want to use for institutional uses that drive $0 of tax revenue into the town, when we have a very limited amount to give to users that do bring tax revenue into the town? So, like, this might just be 2, and maybe that's okay with everybody. It might be okay with me. I don't really feel strongly either way, but I just think from a exercise standpoint, if we're saying every allocation is X% of what we have to give, and there are businesses we want to see come into the town, and there are homes we want to see built in the town,
Yeah, because.
are 2 allocations at a non-town owned park, like the best use of a limited resource that we have, especially if we're not gonna, and I appreciate the staff is recommending we do it, and I, want to have a great working relationship with the county, but it just feels like we are often asked to give a lot.
And not get a lot.
Yeah, we don't often get a lot.
That was one of the things I was talking about.
Yeah.
County needs something from us
Yeah.
with the water and sewer plant.
Yeah, and
We
so-
need something from them.
I think it's a larger conversation too, and like I don't want to nickel and dime ourselves 1 or 2 allocations at a time in the absence of sitting down with the county commissioners or with the county administrator and having a real conversation about what does the bigger picture look like.
Yes.
And that bigger picture to me includes Providence Farm and their 10 acres out there. It includes their plans for virtually abandoned buildings inside the town limits. Like, what is their larger plan as a pretty massive resident of the town? Sort of what's the give and take here? Because right now it's a whole lot of give. And so, I mean, like, I would like for there to be bathrooms at White Marsh Park. My kids play endless sports. Like, I would like for there to be bathrooms at White Marsh Park. So it's not that I don't see the public good that's served here. I just think it's probably past time for a really, maybe it's a joint work session with the county. I don't know what it is, but it's past time for us to have some serious conversations with the county about what being a good citizen of Centreville looks like. And I don't know if we table everything they want from us until then, or we say this is the last thing you're getting until then, or what the answer is. But I just think this is like a tiny piece of a bigger conversation, and I don't want to see the bigger conversation never happen because we allow the tiny pieces through every time. So I'm not a no, but I just, think maybe there's a conversation to be had. And I don't know if they get this first, or we say as a gesture of goodwill, you get this, but then no
Yeah,
more
yeah.
until we actually sit down and talk about what the world looks like.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely imperative that we have a conversation with the county. We need to be partnering with the county associated with, again, what's in town, and we have mutual interests, and I think it's extremely important for us to have that conversation. How that looks like, I don't know, but I think it's important, so we are working together. The 2 here, I think the town, the residents, like you said, Ashley, the residents of the town benefit. Their children go there, they play in the park, so there's a lot from that perspective. But I think we should, and not too far distant future, have a conversation. And just, again, what does that framework look like as far as agenda, having discussion, and how do we have a recurring conversation with them? What does it look like that everybody's comfortable with? So we're just talking with one another.
And this could open a discussion for a potential pilot agreement with the county, a payment in lieu of taxes, because a substantial portion of our assessed base is not taxed.
Right.
And they still require the same services.
Sometimes more. So, I mean, where are our heads on this particular?
I'm gonna make the motion, then we can vote and we'll see what happens. How's that?
Whoa. Okay. What order am I gonna start
Do you wanna
in?
table it instead?
I don't know. Like, I'm really torn between tabling this and saying like, let's have a broader conversation, and saying you can have this, but
I say let them have it.
don't knock on our door again
Yes,
until we have
that's
that
where
larger
I'm with-
conversation.
That's where I'm going. I said, yes,
A gesture of goodwill.
yes. And then say, yeah, we're gonna have a sit-down meeting with it. Yep.
I make a motion to provide 2 allocations for White Marsh Park as presented by staff.
There a second?
I second.
We're gonna roll call vote this one. Councilmember Beecham.
Yes.
Councilmember Huffer.
Yes.
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 Councilmember President Keel. Councilmember Worth.
No.
Okay.
Okay. You know, hey, go out with a bang, why not?
Yeah.
But I think when this is communicated to the county, it's like, this is it. The well, as it were, has run dry until we have a real sit down about what their real estate in the town looks like, what their future plans in the town look like, and how they're gonna be a partner to us and vice versa.
You
All
will
right.
have the public works agreement will come back to you as well on the
Great.
same issue, so.
That's true.
Wonderful.
Yep.
When will that be? Will Councilmember Worth have another chance to vote
Make sure
no?
it's 2.5 meetings away.
October
right.
16th.
Next up,
Yep,
everyone's favorite topic, more allocation.
yep. Sorry, that's,
I've had enough sewer tonight.
yeah.
Politely put.
Huh?
Politely put.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the next one I have for you is pertaining to the proposed Blue Crab car wash out to the business park. We've done an evaluation on this and looked at it many different ways. In one way, it's astronomical, what calculations we come up with that it says it needs. But when we start comparing it to another car wash in town, even though it's one bay shy of what this proposal is, it's completely the opposite way. So for the first, what I've done is figured, I used one of the car washes this company already has. They were able to share their water usage with that particular one. I used the numbers from it to come up with the required 28 allocations for this car wash. After one complete year of them being in business and operation, we'll reevaluate it as per our water and sewer ordinance, and we'll make whatever adjustments we need to from there.
How many allocations do we have left?
You're in the neighborhood of 400.
Around 400? Okay, so this is almost, not quite 10% of the remaining,
Like 6%, it's pretty high.
yeah, pretty big chunk of the remaining allocations for
A duplicative
a project
business.
that's probably not going to provide very much tax revenue compared to like we approved the shopping center that's being proposed. That's, 15 allocations,
15.
right? For, how many restaurants? 4 restaurants, an auto parts store.
Some
a
job
Verizon-
creation.
Right. A huge amount of
I'm a no on
potential
this,
tax revenue,
personally.
you know?
Doesn't the business park have an inventory of allocations?
I think they have 14 remaining in reserve.
Really? That's all?
But
And I would be, I ask that question literally anytime something comes in for the business park for allocation. But I would be a no on the additional 14 for this. I think
28.
when I first saw it, I thought, okay, if it's a, real is not the right word, but if it's a car wash with employees, that is a different product than what we already have in town, that generates some job creation, that provides something different, then I could maybe see it being a worthy use of allocation to duplicate a business. and I'm not saying like they shouldn't have competition or whatever, but like when we have limited allocation, I want to look at it, I look at everything from a public good perspective. And to me, allocation's gotta have some sort of public good that's met, whether by jobs or tax revenue or solving a housing problem. I'm not seeing what problem this solves to take so much of our remaining allocation, and I don't know that I trust, it's not you, it's like not, but who the hell knows how many people are gonna wash their car there and how many allocation it's really gonna be. And I know we'll reevaluate, but once we've let them build and we give them 28, and let's say it's 40, we basically have no option but to charge them for the, we can't say you can't have them, you know, cut it off at the 50th car, you know, like there's just no way to, we're tying our hands. And so as much as I'd like to see the business park get built out, as much as I'd like to see businesses, I would like to see businesses that create jobs personally.
I mean, my position is we have, you know, a limited amount of EDUs right now, and that need to last us for a while, you know, because the plant, when it's done, it's going to take 4 to 5 years, something along that space. And I think every EDU that's allocated has to be very thoughtful. And this, I think the car wash is not a service that is critical for the community right now. I just don't think it's appropriate for me as a town council member to approve this project because of the type of project, and again, where we are with our EDU, you know, that we have right now.
Right, when I think about that, that could be 28 affordable housing units, or that could be a business that generates 10 jobs, or a, we're in a position of, we don't have it to give.
I make a motion to deny granting 28 water and sewer allocations.
Okay, go ahead.
A second?
We're gonna roll call vote this too, just because of the nature of what it is. So we'll start down here. Councilmember Worth,
Yes.
Council Vice President Keel.
No.
Motion is to deny.
The motion is to deny, so a
Oh,
yes
yes,
is to deny.
yes.
Right, I had to think about it too.
I'm sorry, yes.
I'm like,
Yes,
oh,
I'm sorry, I said it
Jeff
wrong.
really needs to
I'm
leave his
sorry,
car, guys.
no.
I'm also a yes.
Right.
Councilmember
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes to deny.
To deny.
Okay, yes to deny. Okay. Thank you. Okay. It's still you.
Well, if you still want to discuss this, there's been some.
I do think we need to discuss this.
Okay.
I don't know that we need to select a bid, but I think we need to discuss it, and I think we maybe, I would ask Sharon if we can do this. So, the mill, what we're about to discuss, what we're discussing, is the mill and perhaps the need for the town to endeavor to accept a bid and knock down the mill ourselves. We have been generous in our flexibility with the owner. There has been a lot of public misinformation out there about what's going on with the tear down of the mill. The owner had a contractor who had applied for permits and things were moving, and then the relationship between the owner and the contractor broke down and he was without a contractor. He's got a contractor again. Is the contractor he has again the person that he was introduced to?
No, the contractor he has now,
It's like a woodworker.
no, that person contacted the property owner and asked
Yeah,
to
get the beams.
purchase or get the beams.
Right.
But the contractor he has now will be pretty much removing it,
Dismantling
almost
the building.
dismantling the building instead
Rather
of
than just like
right,
knocking it
knocking it
down.
down.
We haven't issued that permit yet.
No, we're still waiting on three things from the contractor.
So what I would kind of like to do, so let's say there's another breakdown between the property owner and the contractor.
Or the proposed timeline is unacceptable.
And we just keep kicking this can down the road until
Right.
we meet again.
Take us 6 months to take it.
Is it
Every winter time,
possible
yeah.
to make a motion that as of a date certain, we are going to accept this bid to do it ourselves if he has not completed all the things to get it down?
Well,
Just as a side note, if that time happens to come more than 30 days from the time that we got these bids, we may have to update them.
Well, I don't think it'll be 30 days.
No.
Okay, no, that's fine, just as long as everybody knows.
No,
If it's too long.
I mean, I think the clock has run out. Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, you're
For-
talking about doing it in the next less than 2 weeks, because we meet again in 2 weeks.
oh yeah,
So
no, I'm thinking he's
Yes.
got like
He's got a week?
a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
All right.
my patience was thin at the hearing. Then it's all smoke and mirrors. Like it's every time it's, you know, 1 step forward, 25 steps back with him every time. And
So the week is to issue or to apply for a permit that we're willing to grant.
He has applied.
he has applied. We're waiting for like a state highway letter, right?
Can you verify
Yeah,
the
we,
things,
we
please?
we're waiting, they want to put up the large, tall fences,
The fencing,
panels.
yeah.
Just
and
temporary,
they-
correct?
Temporary.
Yeah.
Right.
And they wanted to put it on the roadside of the,
Guardrail.
guardrail, thank you. So I told them that's in state highways right away, so they're gonna have to get some kind of approval from them. It's not the town who would approve that, so.
I don't even think it's permitting with him at this point. Like that thing's got to be down
Yeah.
by the 16th, let's say.
So again, what are the things that he has to do? Excuse me. What are the, so it's that, the fencing, the permit, what are the, you said there's
So
4
the
things?
permit is in, we're waiting on the
The
liability.
application is in, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yes,
the application is in, but the
allocation- or
permit's
the
not been issued.
application is in, because the previous contractor pretty much had everything done, all we were waiting on was an updated state highway permit. So we basically have everything, but since it's a new contractor, we need, updated liability insurance, a letter from state highway, whether they need something to be able to put that there, or if they can or not. And, I think Norma added one more thing to that list, and I can't remember what it was, but a minor thing. I don't think it was
Okay.
anything,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is Delmarva all clear with all this so far?
yeah.
That part's done.
So really, right now, it's the state.
It's state highway.
Right. So again.
Who are probably going to say no
And the
to putting a
timeline.
fence on the roadside of the
On
guardrail.
the
I mean, let's
outside
be
of the
super real about
Exactly.
the
As a
likelihood
safety
of
hazard,
that.
yeah, that's silly.
Just seems
So where should,
Asinine.
so the fence could be positioned somewhere else?
I think it could be,
Just behind it.
Inside the
Behind
guardrail.
it?
Just
Right.
behind the
So is
guardrail.
that a problem?
but I don't know where the
And the
right of
fence-
way runs.
the fence is about them not wanting people coming onto the property
Right.
more. What would super help them not have people on the property would be someone who's back there helping him, not posting every single picture they've ever had of the place on Facebook. Like that might avoid some of the people coming on the property.
Yeah.
Are they still posting?
Like that's a personal problem. Well, they've got the cars listed in Marketplace and they've got, like that's state highway is not gonna say, sure, we super care about your
Yeah.
piles of junk, and so we're gonna let you put a fence in the road.
Does our permit allow us to put a time limit on completing the task? And what would happen if they didn't meet that goal?
Can we put it on the permit?
I think you can.
We can put it on the permit, right?
I mean, we were within our rights to have knocked this thing down on August 17th.
Yes.
I personally am unwilling to see September 17th.
Right. For starting. How long, I mean, if they're gonna take it apart
Yeah,
piece by
dismantle
piece,
it.
that's gonna take a
At least
while.
see him starting that day.
But guys, I think we need to accept that just because a contractor starts working
Right,
with
don't mean
him
he's gonna finish
does
it.
not mean they're gonna finish working
Right.
with him.
That's right.
true.
That's,
true.
yep, we need a time limit.
Yes.
And so I think like, sure, if we're saying everything to meet the permit requirements in a fully issued permit by Tuesday, let's say, let's just think out loud here, by Tuesday. So that gives him tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday as business days to get his life together and get everything Carolyn needs to be able to sign that permit.
Including state highways. approval
Including
for
state
fence.
highways. 'Cause
Well, that's
if-
not gonna,
Fence
well,
somewhere
okay, we know
else,
that's not gonna
like,
happen.
Put it
Right.
behind.
State highway will probably say no by then.
Yes, they'll have an answer.
This-
Right.
They were in Tuesday, so he knew Tuesday morning when he was in that he had to call state highway.
Okay.
But, yeah, so you
So
get a
what date are
week
you looking at?
to either figure that out or abandon this cockamamie idea that we're gonna put a fence on a state highway. So Tuesday, permit by Tuesday.
It's the 9th.
Let's say work started by Friday,
Friday the 12th, and
Friday the 12th, and then let's say,
I say,
30 days?
the 19th, the following week is the next Friday.
Well, I mean, dismantling, I have no idea what's involved with dismantling
No.
it. I don't know.
All right, we can give them the 19th or the 20th. I wouldn't give them any longer than the 26th.
Or could we say,
Take it apart?
or could
Oh, it'll
we,
take at least a month to take that thing
I
apart.
would think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
We're trying to
let's say- how
salvage,
about
it's a
this?
salvage operation, you know, instead of,
if,
Right.
we've got to see continued work on it.
Yeah.
Because like what we can't have is they take one piece off and then they come back a month later.
Yes.
So like,
Agreed.
yeah.
First inspections, like,
You want to give them 30
I mean,
days?
because we decided that
Once
this
they
was an
start.
urgent public safety hazard. That hasn't changed.
30 days? So if he gets the permit on September 9th,
So-
give him till October 9th.
Okay.
How about this? If he doesn't have a permit by the 9th, I would like to accept
Yes.
this bid contingent on, if he doesn't have a permit by the 9th, we're moving ahead
Yes.
with our own contractor. If he has his permit by the 9th, then we have something else to discuss on the 18th.
Yep.
But if this contractor quits on him, we're done. Like, we're just done. If he gets his permit the 9th and on the 12th this contractor quits, that's it.
right.
So
Yes.
hypothetically, if we pursue this, what hurdles do we have to clear? Do we have to get a permit from SHA?
Yeah, well, we would need a,
Well, our
The contractor.
our vendor would have to get
Yeah.
a, so.
which
we're-
they issued the first one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Assuming that this contractor would tear it down the same way, I think the previous contractor that the property owner had was, they were just knocking it down.
And the
and
beams
that's-
wouldn't be
And that's what we
preserved.
would do.
Right.
And that's what
So
we would do,
if
just knock it down,
the,
right? These bids are just to knock it down.
Right.
yeah, I think that's what these bids are, just a
I'm
knock
sure
it
it
down
is.
bid.
And they'll take it down, they're not taking it down a piece at a time. Yes,
Right,
they're
just
gonna
get-
take it down with equipment. You know, I can't say
Did
that
we-
they won't have something, you know, wanna get a state highway permit or not. I don't
Right.
know, it depends on.
On the
But we
contractor,
can, we
right?
can push on that. I mean, I don't, I feel our ability to get it from the state is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had talked about, like, these bids are to tear the whole thing down, which I think is the smart
Yes.
thing
back building,
to
yeah.
do, but
Yeah.
if that back building is considered a separate structure, do we have the ability to tear that down? I mean, that doesn't pose a risk of falling in the road
yeah, because these prices are to.
for all of it.
We take down derelict property as determined by
phase
NDO.
one
Phase one
is-
is,
Okay.
yeah.
So if that
Yeah.
back building
Just
is
the
sound,
Phase
it's-
one
mill.
is
It doesn't have a,
According
it
to
doesn't have a
the-
roof.
then the walls
front
can stay, but the roof
structure
is.
and the block building
I don't think we
behind it.
distinguished in
And
the demolition
phase one
order.
is?
I just think we said the.
Yeah, the whole
buil-
thing.
Yeah.
We
the
can't-
structures
And
on
it's
the property.
attached, Jim, like, I would consider it one building. The
Yeah.
property owner doesn't consider it one building,
It
but,
says it's two separate buildings because the back part was put on after the.
like, I have a sunroom, that's not a separate building, it's just
Exactly, exactly. I agree, 100%.
like
I'm just,
part of the house. So, okay, so what I would like us to do is approve town staff's ability to accept this bid on September 10th if Mr. Geschwalm has not done the work necessary to obtain his permit. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. But I just don't want us to have to wait until the 18th to have the same conversation again,
exactly.
Okay.
when we could have a contractor probably working by
And
then.
do you want to put,
We should stipulate now what
time, yeah.
conditions we want on that permit. Like we were talking about how long before they start, how long does it take them to do it? We should have that in the, because that needs to be in the permit.
Yeah.
You got 30 days to take this thing down.
Yeah,
We can
I
note
think
it on
it's
the
30
permit.
days.
30 days.
So that should be part of this motion that you're making, I would think.
yes,
Okay, so let's say we make a motion that unless a permit, all permit requirements are met by next Tuesday, close of business next Tuesday, if a permit's not issued with a 30-day time clock, then on Wednesday, town staff has permission to accept the bid from Martin's Excavation and Hauling in the amount of $225,525 for the demolition of 2647 Centreville Road.
And advise the property owner that we're doing so.
That's a given, but yeah. Is there a second?
second,
We're gonna roll call vote this one too. Councilmember Beecham.
Yes.
Councilmember Huffer.
Yes.
Yes. Council Vice
Yes.
President Keel. Councilmember Worth.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we should let Mr. Geschwalm know tomorrow that he's on a very serious clock at this point. He
will
didn't
call
take
him
the last
tomorrow.
clock seriously, but this one he probably ought to.
And,
Okay.
but
All right.
just, can I just ask a question? Would he be aware of like the cost of the demo? When you let him, make him aware of it? Okay, I'm just asking.
Because
Okay.
yeah, there's gonna be a lien of that size on his property.
Yeah, yeah, like, okay, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should have made some different choices all along here, but here we are. All right, next up is,
Thanks,
are you
Deb.
seriously done? We have like a public works agreement, we have some other stuff. This isn't you. All right, next up is a resolution 08/2025, the hazard mitigation plan.
Oh, you want to go back one more? We missed one.
Oh, sorry.
The Centreville
Sorry.
Business Park Public Works Agreement.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm out
Out
of
of
order
order.
by accident.
Okay, so it's in my packet somewhere else, sorry.
It'll be in front of 09.
No, you're fine.
That's my fault.
Third Amendment?
You're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, here we go. Next up, sorry, is Centerville Business Park Public Works Agreement, and this is about Laser Drive, correct?
So this is this me? Yes, this is me. So this is the current Public Works Agreement with the property owner of the business park. It was brought up during the Planning Commission meeting that the property owner had 5 years and or 15 additional acres as approved by the Planning Commission, whichever occurs first, to build the Laser Drive Road. Obviously it is not built out, and obviously he's not gonna be able to build Laser Drive and dedicate it to the town by October next month. So, and the town, I can probably speak for Kip, we don't want to accept a road where it's not been built out back there. So I did speak with Mr. Emery last week about this, and he, his request to the council was asking for an additional 3 years, but keeping the 15 acres. He did a semi-calculation, not a detailed calculation, but he's about halfway to that 15 acres.
So when he gets to 15 acres, he has to build it.
When he gets to 15 acres, he does. So this would change, if the council is agreeable, it would change 3 years, so it would be October 2028, and 15 acres, whichever comes first. So if next year he's at the 15 acres, he would have to start,
Okay.
yeah.
So the question I had, I think as far as the EDU allocation, because it all comes back to EDUs, and what's been allocated here as far as, because none of this is built out. So on the EDU allocation that was done in March, these EDUs are considered, and again, you just kind of said 300 left, so it's part of that. It's included in this, in the Centerville Business Park. Okay, 14. So
Yeah,
14
he already
EDUs.
has, that he's paid. He has some.
So for
in reserve.
14 EDUs, okay.
And it's up to him whether he hasn't been very forthcoming with those, so I think he's keeping them close to himself. So, I mean, that's up to him, but.
What's town staff's recommendation?
I am fine. I think Sharon felt it may be a little long, 3 years may be a little long, but,
Keep kicking this can down the road. I think we've already, this is the third amendment for a reason. It's always the road that we're kicking, but at the same time, you probably
Don't want
a
it.
lot of that, unless you want him to build it, but not put the final code on until the construction's done, so that he's giving you a better
Yeah.
product, but,
I mean,
That's why subdivisions are built.
yeah.
we did just deny some allocation back there, so we're,
so his acreage has gone back
yeah,
up a little bit.
gone back up just a teeny bit.
A little bit.
So I'd be fine to grant this extension personally, but I don't.
I'm all right with it too, but I think, can we say that he can't come back in and ask, in 3 years, he can't come back and say, I want another 2 years,
I
or
mean, you can
another year?
ask, but
I guess
there's
you
many
still
different
ask.
people sitting here and, hey,
Maybe, you never know.
you'll still be here, but
You'll be right beside me.
funny. Yeah, I say we let it
Okay,
go one more time.
all right, I
and
agree,
We'll hold strong next time.
okay.
So then we don't need a motion, we would just change this and
We'll
then it
do a
would get.
fourth amendment to the Public Works
Yeah.
Agreement.
So we'll bring that before the
Okay.
council at the next meeting, we'll do a fourth amendment and.
Okay.
Or in 2 and a half meetings.
What'd you say?
2.5 meetings.
Or in 2.5 meetings.
Or 2.5 meetings. 2.5 meetings is no business.
I like that.
There could be.
I think
No,
it
you
says it, that there's no
No, you-
business. I think
Do what I want.
No business.
Proven.
Be fair to the new council.
You know, if I wasn't having fun up here, I wouldn't be up here.
Okay.
All right, next up.
Be talking about the mill building.
Yeah, I'm sure we will be. Next up is Resolution 08-2025. This is approving our participation in the hazard mitigation plan, which it's not really voluntary.
Move approval.
It's,
Second.
I mean.
Okay,
it-
we have a
it
motion
is
and a second. Is there
voluntary.
any discussion?
It is voluntary, it's just that if we don't participate in theirs, then we have to create our own.
Yeah.
Oh, no
We
thanks.
don't want to create.
Yeah, no. And you don't want to
So
create
this
that,
is
yes,
like
no.
the third time that.
No, I know, we've done it, yeah.
this,
Okay.
Sounds familiar.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Who seconded?
Oh, I did.
You give it to Dan.
Yeah, Dan did. All right, we're gonna just voice vote this one. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, guys. Next up, Resolution 09-2025. This is the Public Works Agreement with Mid-Atlantic Real Estate Investments. And Sharon, you wanna?
Sure. So I think at the last meeting, I wasn't here, but I believe you approved the allocations for this. So this is the Public Works Agreement that accomplishes that. The version you're approving is what is in the paper copy that was here. There was a change today. The property owner, Mr. Emery, wanted an additional change to paragraph 12, basically making it not go into effect unless he actually sells this property. He doesn't want to be responsible for complying with the PWA if they don't go to settlement for some reason. I believe they still must be in some type of study period that there's an out.
Sounds reasonable.
Yep, so that's the only change from what you would have received in your packet on Friday.
Okay. Do we have a motion on this?
Make a motion, accept.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I was wondering about, wait a minute. I had to write this down. Oh, and yes, I guess paragraph 1.3, you know, when talk about doing a measurement in, evaluate every 2 years and then annually forever, if they exceed capacity, then allocation fee should be adjusted. Is it clear that it would be at that prevailing rate at the time? It's not like the rate that
The
we
rate
quoted
today.
here. You know, here we quoted, you know, 13,774 per allocation. It really should say whatever the allocation rate is at that
At
time.
that time.
So we can add at the end of that sentence, Sharon?
Yep.
Yeah, at the prevailing rate.
catch.
Yeah, assuming that's acceptable to the other party. But I thought they kind of understood that.
Good.
Right.
He says yes.
paragraph is that again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's paragraph 1.3.
Right, 1.3 is the,
Okay.
Move approval as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, guys, we didn't table everything as suggested, so there's things to sign. All right, next up, and this one bums me out, only because I love voting. But we have a memo from the Board of Supervisors of Elections. It's in your packet and you can read it, but essentially because we only have 2 candidates for 2 seats, we will be canceling the election on October 6th. And I'm bummed. You know I'm bummed. I told you for democracy's sake, you should just stay in. But I understand. And I think we have 2 excellent people
Absolutely.
that are delighted to serve, and it's going to be really confusing because they're both named Fred, but that's fine.
Up with nicknames.
True. So,
Everyone.
both Mr. Frederick Bew and Mr. Fred McNeil were certified. Their nominations were verified by the Ethics Commission, and they were certified to have met all requirements by the Board of Supervisors of Elections. And because they're the only 2 candidates, there's no need for the election on October 6th, and we will just move on to our council organization meeting that following week at our regularly scheduled meeting, 2.5 meetings from now.
It'll be. It'll be on the 16th is our reorg
Right, that's what I
meeting.
mean, yeah, the following week. October 16th. Okay, well, we'll say nice things about you guys then, but we'll just save it for then. All right, next up, we have reports of boards and commissions. Maryland Municipal League.
You've probably all seen that they are, they've opened registration for the fall meet out in Western Maryland. I've been to an MML meeting out in Western Maryland, and it's really well done, and it's beautiful country this time of year, so.
Awesome. Okay, Council of Governments.
Meeting next week, finally.
We look forward to your report.
Yes.
What are you gonna recruit them for?
Yeah, that. I know what you're talking
We
about.
talked about it earlier.
Talked about it in the work session,
Yes,
that everybody's got a dog in the fight.
yep. Yes, I will bring it up to them.
Cool.
About land ownership.
Yeah.
Will you be there?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Will you be there?
I will.
Okay.
I thought you would.
yeah. No, I got all.
All right. Economic development, we remain in a holding pattern, but would entertain applications for CETA, certainly. And I have a meeting with the town manager and the town clerk about economic development in Main Street and all the related things on the 16th. So, and it's only the 16th because of me. They were happy to meet sooner, but I'm not around.
Have there been any, like from, there been any nominees that have come up?
Not since that first batch
Nobody
that we
has-
tabled.
And again, it's been summer and people off.
Yeah.
Maybe that's probably been the why to it.
We're gonna have to put some concerted effort around it.
Right, to reach out. Okay.
Okay, Park Advisory Board.
Just a couple things. The wharf project that we've been talking about, basically all the plans are complete. And really where it is right now is just for the Critical Area Commission to approve them, the plans. And then at that point is deciding when to construct as far as timing during the winter, spring, but to be determined. But that's where it stands right now for the band shell, the parking, and the lighting. The planter box, it was put off because of the hot summer on Front Street. That'll be done in September, probably the third week of September, which will be nice. And hopefully we can get some publicity about that and some marketing about the improvements to the trail. Annual fishing derby coming up, this weekend. I think everything's lined up or getting lined up. Some loose ends, I think, this week to finish, but that should be a lot of fun. And then Gunston School, they were going to take invasives out, but it had to get postponed. So students from Gunston School are going to help get invasives off the trail, and that's going to be in October sometime, which is fantastic. And then just been working with Shore Rivers on the tree planting and, members of the management teams that move forward on that, which has been terrific. So these are the highlights.
Awesome. And the fishing derby's a lot of fun, if you've
Yeah.
not been, so. Planning Commission.
Well, they did not have a work session last night, but they did have a regular meeting back in August, and they made a negative recommendation on the trailer park expansion. That in turn went to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Was that last week? I don't know what the result
Last week.
was. I don't know what the result was.
The Board of Appeals approved it.
They approved it, though. Okay. Well, here's another moot point coming up. They granted preliminary subdivision plat for the car wash in the business park and also approved the site plan, subject to signs, lighting, building elevations, and materials, so I guess that'll all be deferred. There's a building proposed at the garage at the intersection of 18 and 213 for a woodworking shops showroom. They actually have their facilities located on a farm outside of town, but they want to show off their work in a showroom. And the biggest issue with that was they didn't want to put it in a sidewalk, but the Planning Commission is holding their feet to the fire and wants to make them put a sidewalk in as required. So they also suggested that trees could actually be planted somewhere. They didn't have to like cram all these trees on that one property. So they also, well, they made favorable recommendations to the two ordinances we read tonight. And their next meeting is September 17th.
Okay. Great. Next up, reports of department heads.
I am going, the first three I have on here, I met with Karen this morning, so she asked me to give an update to the council for her. She wanted to say she is working on the audit. Field work will start sometime at the end of this month. They'll start to come out to the office and do their field work to pull the information they need. There will be an end-of-year update at our next meeting. All expenses came in under budget, so there is no budget amendment that's going to be needed this year.
Amazing.
And they are pulling data together for the rate study. So they're having a meeting at the end of this month with Dave Hyder to start handing off that information to him. Been working with Critical Area Commission on the approval of Phase 3 of the Wharf Park. That has been interesting because I have no idea the information I'm supposed to be putting in, so I got it, I think, it got submitted. I think it's correct. We have 6 staff members right now who are going to a First Amendment audit training in Chestertown on the 26th. We were contacted by Kent County asking if we wanted to participate in that. Attended the Board of Appeals hearing last week. Real quick, I'm hoping that people are listening to this, but we have, some of our applicants for our planning commission have been receiving fraudulent invoices, acting as the town of Centreville. And thankfully, one of them did bring in to make sure it was us. One did not. And so we have sent out an email to everybody that we've been working with. Just if you receive any invoices via email from the town, please double check. We do not email out invoices. We mail them unless we've already talked to them and they say just email it to us. But they have come from the chair of our planning commission. They've come from our contract planner, and they are extremely well-written information in these invoices. So hopefully, if anybody
AI
gets
is
this.
amazing.
What's that?
AI is amazing.
That was definitely AI when I saw that first. And I said, man, I'd like to write.
So is the perpetrator getting the information from public records then? Okay.
We have also forwarded all the information to the police department. They've been doing an investigation on it. Mako, I attended Mako a couple weeks ago. I honestly was blown away by Mako. It was such a good conference and really good classes. And what is included at Mako is
Oh, it's night and day.
it's completely night and day from MML. So,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I don't have all my information on my classes, but I'll be happy to share that. But there was a lot of AI stuff that I did take, but a lot of good information, really good classes. One thing I wanted to talk to, last time we talked about, we've been using LinkedIn to help try and recruit a zoning administrator. I would like to ask the council if they are okay if we do move forward with a headhunter, because we don't seem to be getting anywhere with
I think we
LinkedIn.
need to.
Yeah, no, I think it's appropriate.
Okay. And I can come back and tell you what,
Cost and all.
It's a cost of
costs
doing
and all
business.
that kind of
I mean,
stuff. So usually it's usually a
Yeah.
percentage of the salary, so. And final, Monday, we are going live with our town Facebook page.
Exciting.
So we've been, Gay and Chief, we've been working hard at getting stuff figured out to get transferred over, so.
Just in time for lots of notices about the mill.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
That's great. I know you've done a ton of work, and
So we will be on Facebook. We're also, maybe not on Monday, but we will be hooked up, or we will be connected with Instagram as well. Maybe not Monday. I don't know if we'll figure
It
that.
can happen. I just need to figure out
Yeah.
the
That may not
transfer
happen.
time
Yeah.
Yeah,
between CPD and it saying Town of Centerville.
right,
Because you can't work on it now since it's live.
right.
So
yeah.
I'll have to just do that like, I have to get
Yeah.
in early.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, we're converting the police's page into the town's page since it already has substantial followers and makes more sense than operating multiple.
Right.
Okay.
So, yep, that's all I have.
Great news.
Awesome. Chief of Police.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to.
They don't have a report.
Of either month, July or August.
The last month, Lieutenant Harris went over, or, no, you were here.
He
You
was
went
here.
over that.
We don't have a report in our packet this
Yeah, we
meeting.
don't have it, because we usually do it the second meeting.
Right?
Yeah.
Second for the second meeting?
Second meeting.
So do you have anything you'd like to talk to us about? I mean, you need to be here every meeting either way, but
I will sit here and take questions from the council, anything you'd like to ask.
we have a speed trailer, right?
We have two.
Where are they currently deployed?
Right now, they're deployed at our office. We had a issue with the company and its operation, so we took delivery of both speed trailers. When we tried to put them in operation and deploy them, we had a technical or electronic issue with them. So when we put up the message on it, it was garbled, if you will. It wasn't displaying as we intended, so the company's sending a tech down to fix it.
When are they doing that?
That's an outstanding question. I've been playing email tag with the company for about 3 weeks now. So
Speed trailers are a nightmare.
they have been 100% a nightmare. And this is a better company than what we had before, which if,
Okay,
yeah.
Shall we have our town attorney write a letter?
that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
And that's wild. We have two inoperable speed trailers that we've paid a
that are
lot of money
brand new,
for.
yeah,
Bring in the big gun.
Yeah, let's get some details to Sharon so we can
absolutely,
maybe send a scarier email than you're sending.
absolutely.
Okay. Anything else for CPD?
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
So that was
Thanks.
painless.
Hey, you never know. Director of Public Works, are you not sick of us? You are sick of us. Got it.
He said he had enough. He had enough tonight.
Has been for years.
Kip, do you want to tell them what happened today, or was it today?
Well,
or
now you
yesterday?
have to.
Now you got to. She done brought it
Chesterfield,
up.
on Chesterfield,
Thanks, town manager.
sorry.
That's what he's
Do you
thinking
run
right
under the
now.
bus?
We've been
Do you
getting
write
some
under the bus,
emails
Kip?
about how much everyone
Oh, I know.
likes
You
it.
right under the
Oh,
bus.
yeah, it does look great.
Yeah, we got the crosswalks on Chesterfield Avenue.
Right.
Painted. That was done today. We've also gotten several emails thanking us.
And you made Facebook ready too.
I got a good picture.
Imagine who
Does
did
look
that.
great.
Imagine who did that.
I know.
Yeah, so that was paid for by a grant that was actually
Leftover,
good.
remaining
leftover
amount of
money
that.
from something the police was working with.
Awesome.
So it worked out
Yeah.
good.
Crosswalks are an important public safety tool, so.
One other thing, since I'm sitting here, there was a delivery truck backed over a fire hydrant out to the middle school today, this afternoon. So that fire hydrant's out of service. We're planning on replacing it on Monday. So
Why not?
Just add it to the county's tab, man. You know, the gift that keeps
But I think
giving.
we have the insurance information from the truck
Yeah,
driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just mean like, it's, of course it's like
Yeah.
county property.
exactly.
Do you know, when they build a new building out to Centreville Road, the fire hydrant that's just on the corner, it's been knocked down how many times? It was knocked down twice in 1 week.
yes,
Do they
I
have
think
to move
that's-
that back when they put sidewalk in?
that's a fourth, we can move it back.
I'm just
That's-
saying,
I
like-
think that's a fourth one, just in,
Yeah.
what is
Okay.
it, 8 months or something?
Yeah,
Where is it?
right on the corner of
Or is
18
it just running
and
into
213.
other?
Yeah.
Is it you every time?
No, it's a tractor
Yeah,
trailer.
it's a tractor trailer. We know, we even put bollards up.
Put bollards
Big
up.
pipes
They
full
just
of
hit them
concrete.
And the next week, they hit the bollards and the hydrant, like
Broke
both
the
of them.
hydrant out. Yeah.
Should go to the driver's test. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they should, yes.
Okay. Wow. Well, yay crosswalks, not so yay hydrants getting knocked over.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Kip.
Thanks.
We appreciate you as always. All right, we will now, oh, town clerk, I'm sorry.
Clerk.
There you are with so many things to say, I'm sure.
I don't have much, but school's back in session, so Wye River Upper School is back. Our ambassador, trail ambassador program picks back up with our 2 volunteers. And so they're eager to finish out. They do end in November, and then they can either reapply or we look for 2 more. And we'll get some feedback from the school and from the 2 ambassadors, how they liked it or what could improve.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, our intern, I took the recommendations from council. He received a proclamation, a letter of recommendation, and he fulfilled an exit interview, which was fantastic information he gave us on what he liked, what could be better, and that he would welcome, he said you could call him, he would put stuff in writing for others, like, and come and say, yes, be an intern for the town.
Oh, awesome.
So that he would do something like that, especially for Facebook. So it worked out great for all of us. He was missed the minute he left.
He was, he really
And,
was good.
He was very good. He is very talented, and I hope he has a great college.
Awesome.
Experience, yeah.
Yep, it was good, and that's all.
Are you guys character counts coaching again?
No.
You're not.
I can't.
I know, it's so much work.
It's so much work, so much. I love the kids though.
I do too.
It is
So
just
I'm
so
gonna
much work.
have, that's my hiccup at the work.
Yeah.
Plan so much, and I'm like, oh, and I don't
All
want
of
to
a sudden it's like,
shortchange
oh,
the
man.
children.
No, I know.
because I'm
That's why I
busy.
don't do it anymore. It's just an incredible amount of work, but it is really rewarding.
It's rewarding though.
There are other programs that the library does that character counts as a part of. I've sent them to you before, Chief. Particularly, they look for men to come to classrooms and read to kids. So I would like us to encourage town staff to consider that
Oh, I
program
would
as
love
well.
to do that.
Well, you're not a man, but you
Oh, it's
could
only
read
men. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
also. But yeah, they primarily look for men to read so that kids can see men reading. Chief, I'd like to see you do that program.
We send a few officers just about every year to try to.
Yeah. So just to the extent that we can get involved in those things and further build our relationship with the county and the public school system, and just think it's a good thing to do in the town. Awesome. All right, anything else?
That is all.
Thanks. We will now enter a citizens forum. Seeing this rush of people. We will move on to council roundtable, and I see you have something. Council Vice President Keel.
Yes. An ordinance of the Town Council of Centreville to amend the town zoning ordinance codified as Chapter 170 of the Town Code to allow, by special exception, solar arrays in the residential R1 district as an accessory use structure to certain supplemental standards. This is for the Bonfoy, or the Bonfoy? I don't know how to say it. Anyway, on Chesterfield, it sits back off the road. He wants to put solar panels.
Ground mounted solar
Yes.
panels, as opposed to rooftop.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, ground mounted, because he has I think there's 15 acres he owns.
Okay.
I think it's like 15 acres, and he wants to put
Is that the lot that has that oversized accessory building on it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yes. So he wants to put a solar array on that piece of property.
So he's got 15 acres. What then was the thought for at least 2 acres in size? That just feels small. On the second page, it says,
Oh.
a property proposing to have a solar array shall be at
Yes.
least 2 acres in size. Could we change that to like 10?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what
But
it
you're
was.
just asking for some input before you introduce this?
Yes.
Are there references in here that it will only apply to a net metering installation and not a power purchase agreement?
I don't think Delmarva Power lets you power purchase agreement.
don't do that anymore.
I think they only what you use. So I don't think you can, like, you mean to sell it back to Delmarva Power?
They don't do that anymore.
Sell it to the school district, sell it to.
No, I don't think Delmarva Power does not allow you to do that.
All these solar installations that are not on rooftops.
Well, I don't know. I can find that out for you.
Operating under a PPA.
Yes, I can find that out for you.
Let's just,
I do not know.
on this, let's just say, it has to be in association with a net metering.
Okay.
Yeah, rather than them be able to make it a commercial operation.
Yes. Okay.
And I'd like to see that acreage increase, because 2 acres, that's not that big. I mean, it might only cover a few properties in the town.
Yeah, I was wondering how many properties that would cover ultimately.
I don't know the answer to that, but
Yeah.
let's say
I
it's
don't think-
1. 2 acres is small.
Yeah.
Do you put a max or just,
Just a minimum. I'm saying like it's
Minimum?
got to be at
No
least.
max?
Oh, maybe a max too, because you don't want to see somebody take Providence Farm and just decide to make it a solar array. I mean, well, they wouldn't
Not
if it's
R1.
net metering.
And they're not R1,
Yeah.
they're TND.
It's R2, isn't it?
Okay, so yeah,
Oh,
I think
thought that was R2.
I would make those
They're
couple
TND.
tweaks before you.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, all right.
But you're on a good path.
Huh?
You're on a good path.
Yeah.
Right, as far as this kind of,
Well, I would say no if it was like right on Chesterfield Avenue, but this piece of property sits back off the road.
well, it's wooded.
It mostly, all the woods around, he's actually cleared a lot of it. It wasn't really wooded, it was overgrown.
Yeah, I know,
But
whatever.
he built his
Whatever.
house back there, his
Yeah,
house back's there,
Fine.
his house is back there and his.
Potato
No, I know,
garage.
I know where it is, yeah, but these solar panels, are they going in existing where he's cleared?
Yes,
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
yep,
And it's a special exception, so it goes to BZA anyway,
Right.
yeah,
where all those details would be ironed out.
Yeah,
yeah.
but this is just overall an ordinance for solar in
Yeah.
our town. So can I just ask them, so was this like copied from some other like, town, municipality, or how did this come
I
together?
actually think.
It's copied from our R2.
Yeah,
It's the exact
Yeah.
same.
This extends
Yeah.
it to R1.
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, see, I didn't know,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha, so it's in
Yeah.
R2 already.
The one question I have that's not in the R2 that's here is it's listed as an accessory use, which means there's some other primary use, and I just wanted to make sure that's the intention. The R2 one does not have that qualification.
okay.
So yeah,
Probably
find
should,
out.
though, shouldn't And you should probably have a metering limitation as well.
Do you want to bring it back for first reading before we send it to the planning commission?
I think we need to.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
It's
we'll
not
bring it
an
back. Yep.
introduction.
Amend it first and then
Yep.
send it, then send it to,
Absolutely.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
You said you want 10 acres, so be no, you said 10 acres, right? At least 10
Some number
acres.
bigger than 2, but yeah, 10 sounds good to me.
Okay, that's fine.
So while we're on solar, is there anything, remember Karen came to town council about solar and
And then we let it just kind of,
there was a task for her to go back to, was she like,
she did, and they sent us that memo.
no, I know, but then I think Jim, you had requested.
Yeah,
that.
our vendor is looking at our solar agreement to see if there's anything they can do with it.
Yeah. But I know they allowed it, so the high school has solar panels on it, and that's R2, so they allowed them, they did the special amendment for that too,
Okay.
so.
Do you have anything else for the purposes of this council roundtable?
Did we have, can you contact State Highway again about those potholes?
Oh, the ones down here?
Yes.
I just saw that today, yes, I
Yeah,
will.
you,
What was that, Jeff?
getting worse,
I didn't hear you.
the
Potholes.
potholes right by, Academy Lane. There's 2 potholes by Academy Lane that
I feel like I'm back at that show
State
cause
needs to
hearing, I'll
fix.
just yell everything.
And I want to bring this up, there's a hump out here that everybody trips over, where the 2 crosswalks meet, right behind the courthouse. And I was contacted about that to see if there is anything that they could do about it. So I actually contacted State Highway, and they have to contact 87 other people to see if we can just grind it down. It's like, it's a hump of concrete about 8 inches tall that just in the middle of, it separates 2
District or circuit?
circle right here. It's right there on this corner of Broadway and Liberty. Yep.
That ADA thing?
It is ADA, but there's nothing,
I know, but there's other corners that have
that's who
that,
the
too.
guy from State Highway is
Okay.
contacting ADA.
That's the reason that hump is there, because of ADA regulations, because the way that the crosswalks have to be laid out now, they have to be straight across from each other. They can't come out the corner of a
Right,
curb
we
or
had this
anything.
discussion when we did them in
And there
Progress
has to
Farm.
be some type of delineation between a crosswalk this way and a crosswalk 90 degrees from.
Well, there was a lawyer that tripped over this and, yeah, so he's, yeah.
He can read the ADA regulations, apparently.
And there's nothing that's, technically, it's not, it's, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't meet ADA because it's a hump. What happens if the wheelchair hits it and they hit the hump? So
Well,
I know what you're saying.
Because it's supposed to be wide
Yeah.
enough between the
Yeah.
humps.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but it
yes,
doesn't make
I
any
agree.
sense.
It-
Somebody
no,
say paint
not
it
at
yellow, and so we're trying to get it ground down so the ADA ramp is just smooth. So that's what you're trying.
Do
I
you
don't know if
need,
it's gonna
do
happen.
you need a follow-up, or you're?
Sounds like this is his
okay?
personal project.
Yes, well, yeah. I'm just saying I'm working on it, so
He's just sharing with the
I just want
class.
to make sure if you need me to do it.
if I do, I will let you know.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Councilmember Beecham,
Nothing.
exciting. Councilmember Worth.
It would be handy to, we passed a public works agreement tonight. We, looked at other future ones. It'd be handy if they're, and they all get in land records, okay? So once they're there, they're very difficult to find. You would have to know a lot of information in order to find it. It'd be better, I don't know if we can put them on our website, list them by property or something like that, so that they could be easier to find. and that includes the planning commission, they have trouble finding them, so, or even knowing they exist for certain properties, so.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else?
that's all.
Councilmember Hopper?
I know, just August 27th was Samuel Turbot Wright event, which is it was a beautiful day. It couldn't have been more beautiful. It was a really nice event, and Patrick O'Donnell, he was like a historian about Army history. It was a great event. I think a pretty good turnout, so I was glad I was able to be there and speak.
And
so
I have the entire video of Councilmember
I wanna see
Huffer's
it.
speech, so I can send it to you.
I wanna see it.
I videoed the whole thing.
Good. Appreciate you covering that.
Put it on
for the
Facebook
council.
next
Well, we
week.
could put it on Facebook next week, too.
Yeah, no, you're not.
We need content.
No one's that content. So anyway, it was a great event, so.
Wonderful.
I was glad to step in.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. I just have a couple things. I'm so glad you're still here, Kip.
That's why I didn't move.
That's why you knew it. You moved.
Providence Lane and Bristol Lane.
Yep. We're trying to get straight with what attorney.
Yeah, I know, because it's in an estate and all that drama. But as a reminder, there is that collapsed sidewalk
Yep.
at the corner of Providence Lane and Little Kidwell, and it appears to just get worse all the time.
No, I understand, and we're working on it, so.
Okay,
I
do we have
wish I
any
could-
sense of time on getting that paved? It's the number one question I get asked.
I'm not getting the response that I'd like from the attorneys, I'll put it that way.
Sharon, you're up.
So I may have to reach out to,
Another letter you gotta write.
Because, I mean, whether,
Yeah, they need to, yeah.
I mean, it's the responsibility of the estate to settle the affairs of that
they
estate.
they have one lawyer for the estate and one lawyer for the development.
Business, yeah.
And it's like.
Are they both here in town? I know
it's
one of them
that one.
is.
Yep,
They're both here in town.
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, let's get that taken care of. I literally get asked at least once a week when that's getting paved.
Yeah, I get my head,
I'm sure.
it's week 2, going to 7-Eleven. When they paving that road?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure you do.
He said
Yeah.
they're tired of cutting the grass in the street and not in their yard too. Said they gotta cut the grass in the street.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other thing I have is that the last first Friday of the year is tomorrow. Super exciting. It'll be good.
Anything in particular?
Yes, I did.
Good job.
Do anything particular?
There'll be good music. Justin Singleton's the music. We have a different food vendor this month because unfortunately our vendor we've used all season had an injury and is unable to make it. And I spent an outsized amount of time last night, and my husband has spent his entire evening, but I got a text that we do have a food vendor.
Good job.
So that's good news. And there will be, lawn games. The Arts Council will be there doing a leaf craft for kids for free. The face painter will be there. It should be really good. And September's usually my favorite one because the weather's not terrible, and we usually get a pretty good crowd once school's back in. So excited for that and hope you guys will come out. It's, like I said, the last one of the year.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Be back next year. But that is all I have.
Motion to go into closed session.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, I forgot about that, didn't
You
you?
have a second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We are back in closed session. Kip, you're free. You're finally free.
Ryan.